Good afternoon everyone. So today we're at a Ford Transit 2012 with a 2.2 diesel engine. The customer's complaint is a heavy exhaust, smoky exhaust. So I don't see it at the moment, but maybe if we take it a run it will be. But I've got the scan tool on it and there's 4 fault codes. So I've done a full scan. There's not very much on this, but let's just go right to the PCM. So injection pump control module requesting engine stop. Particle filter differential pressure too high, a crash occurred, and the exhaust temperature too high for particle filter regeneration. So cause and effect here, what would you think? So let me see, let's enter into it. So with air conditioning, let me see. No, there's no any air conditioning on this thing, so it's without. With EGR, well, I would imagine it has an EGR. So it's a manual. Power steering, yes. So many questions. Read fault codes. Retrieve. So injection pump requesting ending stop. Crash occurred. So I think these two are a cause and that's an effect. I would think so. Particle filter, so it's blocked, and exhaust temperature too high for particle filter regeneration. So what we can do is just let's go to the data stream here. Let's see if it's clever enough to take us right into the particle filter information. So let's. I seen Ivan and Pine Hollow doing this. So particle. There we go. That's quick, innit? So let's go 1, 2, 2. So we'll go okie dokie. So it's 134% full. That's quite full. That one there says 105% loaded, and the particle filter is 0.71. So let's watch this as we rev the thing. Well, that's a good one. That is I would think that's fully loaded. So first things first. Well, revving actually. There we go. First things first, we need to try and clear this DPF in order to get rid of the rest of these problems here. So that's probably why it's got a heavy exhaust. It's trying to do a regen, or I don't know. I would think so. Anyway, let's go back. See, these other figures go up. So DPF is full. So what I've done here is key on, engine off, so we're not idling. Let's clear and let's see if anything comes right back. In fact, we should go. In fact, what we'll do is we'll go into this one. Exhaust temperature. Let's just see what the exhaust. Differential gas pressure temperature. So temperature, and everything else is. So okay, let's added that one there. That doesn't look right, does it? They're all reading 5 volts. Look at this. Have you ever seen an exhaust temperature like that? I think that's shorted. Let's start her up. Ah, you don't think the same as me that needs an exhaust temperature sensor? That's shorted to the 5 volt reference. So let's go back. So even the exhaust gas temperatures 1, 2 hits. Oh, there's something wrong here. They're all 5 volts. Let me have a bit hunt about, but that was dodgy. To do, I just typed in temperature and wanted to look at the rest of the temperatures. So look, air charge 19 degrees, ambient air temperature, that looks good. Charge air temperature, let's give it a... In fact, what we'll do, let's see if it drops. That's hot air, it's coming into that. So you see that one doesn't actually move that much. You think it will come down eventually. Engine coolant, 2 volts, 42 degrees, that's correct because we've just started. 82 degrees is the oil. 2.1. These are wrong. These are wrong. External temperature from sensor 215 degrees. That seems very high. That one there. Real temperature sensor. That's the fuel temperature. That's wrong as well. Look, that's too high. Intake, that'd be right. Intake air temperature, that'd be right. And particle filter, oh, that was the one we had done earlier on. So these we need to go after that one, and that. That maybe looks like a supply bit. That's like sensors 1 and 2. Sensor 1, sensor 2. We need to get this up in the ramps and look. See what's going on there. Because there's no way that it would carry out its regen if it feels the temperatures are far too high. Definitely not. It'd be frightened it would go and meltdown. That was what, when you go and fire, it would just melt the exhaust and the DPF, everything like that. So you see the multi-plug. So these are the sensors up here. So that'll be number 2. Oh, you're right. And that's number 1, temperature sensors. So what we're going to do is watch the scan tool as they get disconnected. See that the two plugs are now disconnected. So you can see that the two, even with them disconnected, they're still reading 5 volts. So what we're going to do is shorten them out and see if that changes.
Can I help you? Yeah. You need to come in because I'm doing something.
Can you put it right in, George? Is it?
But can I help you?
Because my car is timing batteries, I think so. I need to check.
2 seconds.
No.
Your timing belt what?
I need to want to change, I think so.
Right, go and get your registration for me, please. No, give it to Alan. Go and get a pen and paper now. And phone Ford, ask for Glenn. Right, what you want me to do?
Did you short the first one out, lad?
Second gear.
Aye, so wait, is it, can you short it out again, George, just to make sure? I hope we've not got a bad connection in the wires up there. Is it hard to get into? That's it, right, there we go. George shorted out the bank, number 2 sensor. So that's good, so that means the sensor's kaput. And can you short out the other one, George? Number 1 temperature sensor, so that proves that the wiring's good. So we need 2 exhaust gas temperature sensors here.
Is that shorted it?
Aye, look, he shorted it out there. Right, there I've got the decade box. You can see them at 0000. So that's like a short circuit. And I've got it going into the number 1 temperature sensor. I hope you can see that up the top there. So you can see it at the scan tool. There we go. 3, 4. So you can see in the scan tool we're down at 0 volts roughly. So we then go to the decade box and we'll put say 1000. Put 1000 ohms in it. There you go. You can see that our graph then jumps to 2.5 volts. We'll put another 1000 volts, 1000 ohms in it, sorry. Then we go up to 3.3 volts. Then another, so this is 3000 ohms. So that's 3.75. 4000 ohms. 4 volts, that's good, 4000 ohms, 4 volts. 5000, 4.17. Let's just go to 7000 volts. 4.38. 8000, 4.45, and 9000. There we go. So we've proven the integrity of that circuit and also that sensor. But you think this would maybe change up here? I'm not so sure why that's not changing. Let's that. So I don't know why. There we go. That's good. Let's do the same on another one. Sensor number 2 now, and you can see at 1000 ohms we're getting down. So you see exhaust gas temperature, bank 1, sensor 2, 2.5 volts, and we'll take that up again up to, let's just go up to 9000 ohms. That's 9000 ohms. And you can see that one reacts slightly different. No, it doesn't. It's exactly the same. So it's funny enough, our supplier can provide us with bank 1 sensor 1 but no bank 1 sensor 2, and they look exactly the same sensor. So let's go, I think it was 4000 ohms. 4000 ohms was 4 volts. There we go, 4000 ohms. So these are exactly the same sensors. So I didn't think it matters what one goes where. So that's the new sensor arrived. They could provide number 1 but they didn't have number 2, but as I say, I think the only difference is the conduit colour, because they both do exactly the same thing, and the resistance check out fine, so never mind. We'll put this in and see what readings we get in the scan tool. Now, I'm going to admit here I've made a mistake. See, these temperature sensors, they do not start reading until we've hit 100 degrees. Oh no, should have done this the first time. Just clean out the DPF. Get DPF Doctor and put them right into this first one. You can see it goes in there. Unblock it. Right, we'll do that. I think this thing should be fine. So it's blocked for some reason, and I don't know, probably should make up a little bit of pipe, rubber pipe, just to go into that, because that straw was too thick to go into that orifice up there. So we've done it this way. Got a little bit of leakage. It's not too bad. Let's see how this brings the figures down. They meant to put it in between 3 to 5 shots, like 30 seconds at a time. So you can see there, we've got the stuff in, and we're just sitting watching this voltage, and that should come down considerably if this treatment does its job. So you just leave it to idle, cold, and that figure should start to come down. So we're at 2.2 volts. Let's go back. Sitting here idling, you can actually see the graph. It's going up the way, and the readings are getting worse. But I can start to smell it now, that DPF Doctor. But I don't know if it's going to work in this one. I mean, 70 kPe, that must be about 6 or 7 psi. Let's see, we'll do the conversion. 75 kilopascals is 10 psi. That's choking. Starting to go down the way now. So let's hope that is actually unblocking itself and not just the EGR opening. I've seen that before. I'll let you know. That was coming down nicely, almost at 25, then it shot back up to 40 and back down again. I think that's the EGR valve. So we've let it idle for 5 minutes. Now we're going to take it a run. We should have significantly better figures. You see that our figures are well down now. You should see the reek out there. You can hardly see in the mirror, man. Anyway, when we're driving along, we've got the 2 lights on, so we need to go and retrieve codes. But that was better. That's more manageable. In fact, I'm going to let you see this. Oh, your beauty. That's like a turbo. Turbocharger, supercharger, underboost state. Fault is currently present, and the DPF is complaining about it's too high, but I think that may be clear. Oof. So let's go back and clear these codes. 222. Clear fault memory, yes. Okay, read fault memory. Retrieve. Let's start her up. The oil lights went out at least. We're clearing at the back. Let's just see how she goes. Right. Let's see. Turbo. Turbo's in 70%. Let's give it a run. It's actually, we're boosting, and I can feel it's boosting, and the lights never came back on, but we've got no diesel left, but never mind. Let's see what the rest of the data says. It smells a wee bit honky, I would say. So let's go back here. Let's see. I wonder if there's any under boost. Boost absolute raw sensor. Boost pressure. Go for that. So I think that would be your boost one there. So that looks good enough. Let's see if our exhaust pressure sensor, our exhaust temperature sensors are up now. At least we never changed them. It was close though. Oh, there we go, they're working now. So that's these ones, they need to get to 100 centigrade before they start working, so that's them there. Right, just to finish this video off about the transit. Here was the problem. So we had remember we had a blocked DPF. Now hit's only a symptom, never the cause. So here is the cause. Look at that. The turbo was kaput. Look at the movement in that. So actually how I discovered it was a turbo. I was sitting looking at the scan tool when it was cold, and with key on, engine off, the turbo pressure sensor 100 kilopascals. But see, as soon as I started the transit, it went, the kilopascals actually dropped to 60. So a diesel engine should never do that, it should always be 100 or above, because this is turning. So this obviously was sticking when it was cold because it's so much movement in it, and once it heated up and the oil got a bit warmer, this started to turn and the pressure rose up. So that's what was wrong with this. I think this was quite expensive actually, but let's see the other side. Oh, there's even more. Oops. There's even more movement down there. So there we go. Ooh, there was a problem.